So I'm making a video of my journey of living with schizophrenia without medication. Today's been relatively normal. It's been early, but I'm still just kind of making my way around through the day. I had plans, but I had an unexpected roadblock that I can't pass. So I figured I'll just go work on this project where I'm going to try and capture synchronicities or things that are repetitive to me that make me feel like I'm being followed, because right now I feel pretty good, but as I get into the town I might come across people and vehicles just parked in weird spots where they shouldn't be, and I'm just gonna try and outlast them, because what I often do is I'll just pull out my phone and pretend that I'm making a phone call, and I'll think to myself, how long is this person gonna stand there? And usually within seconds they'll just rip off. It's almost so weird. Yes, all these schizophrenic people say, yeah, we're being followed, but we all must be being followed by the same dumb organization, because they make it so obvious that we know that they're being followed, which made me realize, in Beautiful Mind, the guy's like, the girl, she never ages. That's how he clued in that she was a visual hallucination, which I don't get, to my knowledge. I get ear hallucinations, and very rarely, but every now and again I'll be at a restaurant, and if I'm having a manic episode, I'll start to hear whispers of my name, by people at the end of the bar or in the room. So I do get those, and some people, I learned, I did a lot of research before I decided to start this channel, about just watching people with schizophrenia from the 40s and whatnot. And what I realized is some people have multiple voices and some people have one voice. I came across that, and that was really eye-opening, because I only had one voice. So for me and others like me, it can be a little bit more difficult to diagnose, because we just think it's our own voice that we hear. Although I can say that when the thoughts started happening, they started to come in so fast and so intelligent that it just sounded like my higher self. So I was going through a spiritual phase, and I decided to start meditating a lot and stuff like that, and then I kind of just unlocked some mind stuff, from meditating 4 hours a day for 6 months. You start to when I started, I had no idea what I was doing, and I had multiple weeks where I didn't accomplish anything. But then I started seeing color patterns, and then eventually a movie played in my head a couple times, and when I did that, I achieved that. I just realized there's nothing on the internet like that's being explained that I could find. So then I kind of just stopped doing it and just started exploring other stuff, and that led me to thinking I was telepathic for a bit. And anyway, so I'm just trying to relive these moments that make me think that I could become all these things, and I'm hoping that when I document them, put them on video, and then go home and be able to remember what I saw exactly and what I said, because a lot of times I'll be talking for 3-4 minutes, and then I'll have a thought blocking situation where I'll be thinking about something, and then I'll have thought broadcasting, where implanted thoughts are being put into our minds, it's a term that they call thought broadcasting. And I'll have that, and then when I when I realized it's like a defense measure to get you to stop talking about what you used to talk about, because you can't go back and you can't remember, and it was actually like really important and interesting. So after a while I started to develop my own way of just remembering what was said and what I could remember. So like, for example, this is one that I heard from this voice where I was like, I never said this. I don't know where I heard it, but I think I heard it in my mind from this guy. It's a male voice. It sounds like my voice to me. It said, there's wolves in the woods, snakes in the weeds, and fools in the garden. And I was just like, when I heard that, I was just like, okay, like I'm not smart enough to come up with that. I can kind of like understand it, but like the episode I was having, it made perfect sense. And I just remember thinking like, I can't remember the next, I know I'm not gonna be able to remember because of thought blocking for the next little while, so I have to remember that. So like, I just start repeating, there's wolves in the woods, snakes in the grass, and fools in the garden, until I know that there's no way I can forget it. It might take like 30 minutes, but I'll remember that all day thinking about it. And sometimes the delusion will continue, and like I'll stop doing it for like 10 minutes because I'm like, okay, I gotta follow this rabbit hole and see where it takes me. And then like I'll either continue down and get excited, and I'll totally forget about the wolves. But after I'm done, you know what I mean? I had repeated it so much that I'll know I'll never forget it. Like eventually, after 30 minutes, you'll pop back up in your head again. That's what I realized what would happen for me. So it got to the point where I would come back from like a 2-hour walk, and I would say things like, the gray and yellow Denise wolves live that life. And wolves would be, I know that I can associate wolves to those wolves and the snakes in the garden, not to keep repeating myself, but each word, gray and yellow might be color of my enemy. So the gray and yellow wolves, and like Denise might be a name of a girl I saw. So the gray and yellow Denise wolves live that life. And then like I could say like Denise was living a crazy life. So if I remember gray and yellow Denise wolves, I know that I can keep repeating that, and eventually all those memories will come back to me. It's kind of like putting a little chain. I think it's like what they used to describe memory lane. Like if you keep thinking about times in the past, all of a sudden other times will start to come back to you. Like if you had a good party story from 20 years ago, you might not remember the whole story right now, but if you start to think about it, more stuff will come back to you. It was the same kind of concept I use. Yeah, so I did a lot of research about schizophrenia and the mental health conditions, and I found a lot of words that I saw people with schizophrenia trying to explain their experience, like me in the past, and not knowing enough about the condition. We just wanted to share our experiences, and there was like words that I should have known, like word salad, thought broadcasting, thought blocking, illusion, hallucination. So like I don't see hallucinations like I said, but I'll see illusions. Like I'll go up to my room and there'll be like a comb and a little hand towel, and the way that they're folded and laying next to each other, they looks like a little jackknife, like a switchblade knife. So that would be like an illusion. So I'll get those, like I'll see stuff, hear a thought, looking at something that's totally different or something along those lines. So I'm hoping to like kind of catch some of these when I'm having them. And the other reason I wanted to do this channel was because, as far as I can tell, there's no one out there living a productive life that's talking about it off medications for conditions like schizophrenia. But I've heard rumors of like rich people from like strippers and stuff that they like go to these guys' houses in Montreal that are like rich and shit, and they just sit around talking to the TV, and they were like talking about schizophrenia and stuff. It's really weird that this stripper brought it up to me out of the blue, considering I was like I didn't, maybe she picked up on something I did, and it's very possible, but I didn't think it seemed out of the blue that she would bring it up, but it got me thinking. And then the guy with the beautiful mind, he lived on medication, but the medication didn't work, from what I understand. He's Nash was his last name, Dr. Nash in Princeton. He saw visions of, like, at least in the movie they described 3 characters at least, and he said he just ignored them. But like, he had burst. What's the right word? He had flare-ups over his lifetime, and anyways, so he's kind of like at least a role model of mine, that he won a Nobel Prize living with schizophrenia, and they didn't actually let him speak though, but they did give him the award, and they let him hang out at the library of Princeton. So it's pretty well known. And so, but the thing about it is, he said that he just ignored them. I'm doing the opposite. I'm trying to engage the situations. So like, I don't know. It's getting kind of, there's a lot of people around me, and I'm thinking there's this weird situation, but it might not be. Yeah, it's a little weird right now. It's my first. It's not weird enough to put it on video yet. I want to make sure when I catch something that it's an actual strange event. Like I said, I have been off medication for about a month and a half, and I was on medication for like 6 months maybe before that. So when you just stop taking a medication, it takes sometimes like 2 or 3 months to get like to the point where someone will be like, hey, do you need to go to the hospital? Sometimes maybe 5 or 6 months. Sometimes you'll get 3 months of the person being able to control it and hide it. But from my experience, it feels like a game, and the object of the game is for you to like navigate different realities, while they know that eventually they'll get to a reality where they trap you to the point where you just have to go back to a hospital. Like they'll have something so convincing, and then you'll go home and tell your girlfriend, and then your girlfriend will get worried and take you to the hospital. Which is why I like to be alone, and I find it easier that I don't have to worry about anyone if it's just me, which is again why I'm not putting this on my other channel with my family, where friends and family can see, the title, Off Meds, Schizophrenia. It's not exactly ideal. So I'm gonna go into my friend's shop and see if there's anything strange, and if not, I'll carry on, and then I'll end the video with one thing that I can usually a synchronicity that usually makes me used to make me think we were in this simulation, and I'd be like, it's so stupid. There's 100 cars in the parking lot, and there's 3 stores that they could possibly be in, and there's only 45 people in the store. So like, even if everyone drove their own car and no couples came, there'd still be 45 parked cars in this area, which it doesn't make any sense because it's a rural area, a rural community. So like, whatever. So anyways, I'll check the parking lot. I already walked by and it didn't look like there was a lot of cars, but it'll be interesting just to give you an example of like, if I come back and do it on a Monday or a Tuesday, and to see the parking lot filled with like 80, 100 cars and 25 to 30 people inside. It makes you kind of go like, what's going on here? So when I go into the store, I'm just gonna put the phone down on my side, and I don't want to film people like and my friends. I'm trying not to let my friends know, but sometimes I have weird conversations in here with people that are just really chatty. It's almost like a schizophrenic zone where I can say hi. All my buddies here, so. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Shooting an airhead.
You're doing what?
Shooting an airhead.
I've never even heard of that. I came by a couple times when the store was closed on a Tuesday, and I'm shit. So were you sick?
On Tuesdays now, yeah.
Oh, you are closed on Tuesdays now. I was like tripping out. I was like, fuck, am I going crazy? So
we're closed on Tuesdays now.
How many hours a week do you get now, roughly?
34.
Okay, that's not bad. I wasn't sure because I saw like I come in the odd time just to say hi, but I usually walk around noon and 1 and stuff. And I've just been running into a female a couple times.
Robin.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, I wonder. Hopefully you're getting
Thursdays.
Yeah, it's just like, me, I don't make a plan. I just kind of I'm getting lost on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yes, if it's before 4 o'clock on a weekday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday and Friday I get here at 4. Thursdays I get here at noon. Saturday, Sunday I get here at 2.
Oh, okay. My memory's so fucking scattered sometimes. I'll almost never forget it. I'll almost never remember it. But...
Just remember, I'm either here at 4, 2, or noon. And if I'm not here, it's one of the days I'm
Which
here.
days are you here at noon again? Sorry.
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. And then what day does Jeremy come in? Did she even come in anymore?
Saturdays, every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday morning. Okay, cool.
So if you want to see both of us, the best time to come is Saturday around 1:45 to like 2.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll set an alarm for that time roughly. Or like a little bit earlier.
Be like, come say hi to Alex and Jared.
Yeah. Because I go for walks every day, so I can always just set it for a certain time. That's why I've been setting alarms a lot lately. Like, I started going to the food bank and shit, man. Do you go to the food bank? You should look into it because you would definitely probably qualify. And you can probably get about $150 worth a month at least worth of food, that like soups and chilies and meats and like not bacon, but eggs and milk and all that shit. Like, it could help you.
I don't need it, unfortunately, right now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take advantage of something that I don't fully need.
Yeah, fair enough. If you don't need it.
Exactly.
My parents don't. Fuck, that's not true. Like, they'll make dinners and sometimes they'll be extra and they'll leave me a little.
And I used to cook Dad for your dinner more than your dad or Rosalind cooked when I hung out there. So
Yeah.
I know your dad hates cooking.
Yeah. His favorite restaurant is You either goes to the Chemical restaurant for Chinese food, JJ's, and that's those are like the only two places
Yeah, he eats out a lot.
he does. And like his girlfriend kind of like gets annoyed because he'll like come home from hockey and she'll be like she'll have made dinner and stuff. And he'll be like, "Oh, I had egg rolls."
He's still with Linda?
Yeah. I think I've seen them get along and they're meant for each other, like in the sense that they almost never argue, and if they do argue within like a minute, it's not even a
They're trying not to argue, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to resolve it and not escalate it.
I've seen other couples that would just continue to fight, and I've seen them and they slowly work it out and it's almost never anyways. So like, but like basically my dad basically just kind of gets what he, like everyone just kind of like, everyone in the family, like my dad's always been the patriarch about like his brothers and sisters and stuff. So like, he kind of just, like whatever he says kind of, it's easier just to go with it. He can be very stubborn if you try to, like I used to try to argue with him a little bit. You know Roz tried to argue with him. They would go screaming back and forth. Like,
yeah, I know. I had to sit in the basement while.
Yeah, like he's stubborn. Like he doesn't like.
So you guys are stubborn because he's stubborn. Like let's be real here. It's the same way I'm stubborn because my mom's stubborn.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, but it's taken me a long time to like, kind of love him for who he is. Like like there's times where I was just like, fuck man. Like, you're so fucking annoying.
Oh, if my parents were my parents, I would never talk to them as people. But, like, they're my family, so I love them. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what
like, it's like, you motherfuckers are lucky you're my family, so I love you. Because you're the most annoying people sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, you know exactly where I'm going with that. Yeah. Do you know this guy? What?
How's it going?
Not bad stuff.
Not too bad. What you looking for today?
Just browsing for some Pokemon.
For sure, we're out of English right now. We only have Japanese packs, but...
When do you guys run out of like your free broadcasting of like channels and stuff?
This is just YouTube.
No, I know it's YouTube, but don't like. Remember we watched the UFC and stuff. Do you get that all? Are you gonna lose? Remember you said some guy like won
that was
some guy won a code or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he still has it or not.
Oh, okay, maybe he's just paying for it.
Have a good one.
Ah. All right, man. I think I'm gonna come back later.
Alrighty.
Do you have like people doing game shit tonight?
Magic Night starts at like 5 or 6.
Okay, if I come by, it'll be before that because I don't like to just be the weirdo walking behind a bunch of people playing games, talking.
Yeah,
to
I know you're a pacer when you like to walk. It's not like you're welcome to grab a seat whenever, man.
I know, when I'm at home, I've been like just always like couch potato on bed and shit. But like when I get out and walk, it actually like helps me think.
Oh, when I'm talking on the phone at my house, I literally like walk laps around the house almost, and my mom hates it.
Yeah. Why though? What's right? I don't understand why it bugs you. You're right. Pacing does piss people off. Like my buddy will be like, "Sit down. What are you doing?" I'm like,
I don't know. I'm just tired of sitting down.
Yeah. No, I've been sitting down all day.
For 2 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
We'll see you later, man.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Has it been busy lately?
Yesterday was really busy. Like I had customers and people in here like all day basically.
Oh yeah.
And even like from when Jared started in the morning, it was like non-stop. And Saturday is usually like a slower day.
Okay. Cool. All right, buddy. I'll see you later probably, or maybe you're not working tomorrow or Tuesday, so.
No, off. Those are my 2 days off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll figure it out. See ya. So, all my interactions were normal today. No one's talking weird shit. And I guess, like I said, sometimes it takes 3 months after taking your medication for at least a month regularly that it will take before you have delusions or psychosis. But like I had a day recently maybe a week ago now, where I had like 22 synchronicities right in a row. And it's not strange either that the fact was it was either the day before or the might have been a day before or the day of the Super Bowl. I think it might have been the day of the Super Bowl actually, which like for people with schizophrenia, some of them will say that it gets noticeable around big events. Like for me, I think it's like I'm experiencing different realities at one time sometimes, where like it'll just bend towards, how do I explain this? You sit in one place and the people come in around you and talk to you, and by talking to them you start co-creating with them. Just naturally your brains are connected at some level where you're having a conversation, thinking about each other. And if you sit at a bar for 5 hours when you're having a really strange day, you'll have a lot of strange conversations too. And you can say stuff like kind of lie, like fake it till you make it. And if you can like, and I just started like making people believe some like really bizarre shit. I was working on my BS skills, and I was also talking to like some sort of being, like this Nash guy from Princeton, the doctor. Like he came up with a Nobel Prize winning theory that he developed totally by himself, and I guarantee you, like in the movie, he was definitely hallucinating at this time. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the thoughts he had came from some of the voices that he had. And so like there is potential, in my opinion, that's worth looking at. But I just feel like everyone in charge is kind of making more money if they keep, like, if some people have what seems like some sort of situation that could be harnessed into a powerful positive situation, not unlike the CIA investigating like psychics and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they did some research on schizophrenic people and how they always claim to see these different realities. Like if they just didn't do any black op information on that, I would be genuinely surprised, considering we have a lot of claims that could be considered telepathy. And I'm sure they looked at that. So like, anyways, so this is a thing that I like to do whenever the parking lot's busy. But I'm just trying to make content, so I'm going to do it today, but I'm not expecting it to be as interesting as like say like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But I come up, so this area here, people park in the parking lot over there or whatever. So it is possible, but no one's in these stores. Like, when was the last time you went to a barbershop, like in a small town? Like, there might be one person in all these stores. Okay. So let's just see. Sometimes there's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cars. And there's 4 people, 5, 6 people in that place. This is closed. That other store up there is closed. So what did I say? 5, 10. There's like 16, 17 cars, and we have 4 people. And those people were sitting at a table, so they probably came together. So, like I said, I almost just want to give up, but I'm just gonna show you a bit of like how I'm gonna start documenting the schizophrenia. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna count the people with a rough guesstimate. I'm at 7, 8, 9. We might have more people than cars, which might make sense. 11. So I say 11 and 4. So like, basically, if every person in the store came here alone and drove, there'd be probably a car for every person. But like we know in the restaurant 2 people were sitting beside each other, and probably these teenage kids working probably walked. I don't know. It's like I said, it's not exactly happening for me right now, but you come here on a different day during the weekday, and this whole parking lot's filled, and you'll have a few people inside in all the spots, but like 40 cars that are just parked there for no reason. So I'm just gonna stop this video in a minute, basically, and just say if you made it this far, thanks, but I'm gonna try and capture something eventually. I know if I stay off my medication, if it's like the past, it'll get to the point where it's just too much shit is going on. And you're probably maybe wondering, well, why didn't you film it in the past? And there always seems to be a problem. Like, it's either so weird that you're not thinking straight, and you're not thinking like, let me capture this to show other people. You're thinking, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that information? Like, how am I supposed to? Well, like, see, here's something strange. If I can't film, oh yeah, here I can. This girl is just standing in the side of the road. So let's investigate what she's doing. I don't know. I guarantee you, like, once I get closer, she'll start to walk away, probably. Sorry. But, like, this is, I'll come across with my schizophrenia and I'll just see someone out here, like, filming a wall. And, like, nowadays, in the past, I'd just be like, another crazy thing, right? But, like, look, she's just filming the wall. So, like, I'm just gonna ask her what's going on, try to investigate, and we'll see if she's crazy like me. I'm not gonna film her anymore. How's it going? Good, good. You just watching paint dry? Oh, okay. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, I didn't mean to scare you away.
No worries.
I was wondering, I was like, oh, geez, I wonder if, like, you look like you were just filming the wall.
No.
You do like birds?
Snow bunting or something? Yeah.
Oh, okay. you watch a lot of birds?
Well, I used to.
Do you?
It's been a long time.
Did you go in the nursery and stuff?
No, it's finished. Uh, before my Kempville time.
Oh, okay. I'm going this way, sorry. Have a good day. No, I was already in there. No, I was just weirded out. I was just curious. You too. It's all good. So, that's a pretty normal experience, right? But, like I said, I don't usually care what people think of me. She was like, just come by, just see me. And I'll just be honest. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I was just weirded out by what you were doing. So I was just curious. So I walked by her. But like, that's how I'm going to start investigating these schizophrenic episodes, because the old me would have had like 3 or 4 synchronicities and would be weirded out and deciding to go home. But like, what I realized is if you could, there's always a good explanation, but it doesn't change the fact that I like to call the guys the Adjustment Bureau, because I feel like it's not so much like the Matrix, but more like the Adjustment Bureau. So I'm just like, the Adjustment Bureau had me look down that way at the exact same time to see that lady standing there. Mind you, she's doing a normal thing, but because I'm known to be crazy, it's almost like they'll assume there's a possibility that I'll just like walk on by and go, yeah, another crazy person standing in the middle of the street today, and just continue on down that path of that delusion. But what I realized is I had a good chat with her, and I know, like, once I got talking with her, we started walking the same way, like, just naturally. And, like, it's a weird spot for her to be coming from, too, by the way. Like, there's nothing out there, so, like, unless she lived in the house across the street and was walking, it's kind of a weird spot to be and see a bird. But, nonetheless, we went there, and we had a good talk there, and, like, I just pressed the bird topic. If she brings up bird topic, or if I go to the bar and someone brings up a topic, then I just assume that's the topic I'm supposed to talk about. So I'm like, did you used to bird watch? Did you do it in the nursery? And she kind of answered, we're like, no, that was before, like when I was before Kempville, and like, she doesn't want to get into the details, but I don't know. I think it was pretty normal. And I like that she questioned me at the end, like, well, did you just come here to see me? And I'm like, yeah, basically, bitch, because I was wondering why you were standing in the middle of the road. So, because I see so many weird, unusual instances that I just have to question them. And it's like, I didn't get the grocery store full of people, but like right away I come out and there's a person in the street. So could you imagine, like, if it was a Tuesday and there was like 100 people in the parking lot parked there, and only 70 people in the stores, and then I saw that girl? It's like the delusion can continue easier. Like, it's the more you get carried away, it can affect you. So basically, I'm gonna end this here now and just basically have this channel as a channel where I'm trying to just capture schizophrenic thoughts and episodes and investigate them, and just like see how many like weird things I can catch. And like, maybe someone will be like, you know what, I don't think you have schizophrenia, or sorry, not schizophrenia. Someone may say, I know you have schizophrenia, but I also have to admit, I see why you could be someone who is diagnosed with that, because you do happen to see a lot of strange things from day to day that are not exactly common. And if you happen to see them every single day, at some point you begin to doubt that it's always a coincidence. But if you never see anything random, or if you just walk by someone like staring in the street like that, like I did, and you don't think anything about it, that's fine too. Like, but like it happens so much that I can't stop fucking noticing it, and it broke my that's crazy. Anyways, I don't think that's anything to be concerned about. Not concerned, but I don't think that's a synchron. Like, when I said I had a day of 22 synchronicities, if that happened later on in the day, like at around 15 or 16, I almost definitely would guaranteedly say that's another synchronicity, having the snow fall off like that when I'm talking. Like, that's just like one of the things that happens to us. Like a horn will honk as we're talking about something that could be considered negative, and our immediate thought will be to be like, oh, that's the Adjustment Bureau telling us to shut up and not talk about that concept. I saw a lot of schizophrenic interviews where people were talking on the street, and they'd interview someone with schizophrenia, and they'd be talking about something a little sketchy, and then like all of a sudden a horn would honk, and they'd like it happened so naturally because I did it myself. I could see they just naturally like stopped talking, and like I'm not supposed to talk about that, sorry. And I don't know why that happens, but again, it is something that I am trying to figure out, because when I saw that snow slowly start to fall off the roof in a big a huge pile like that, it caught my attention. But like, I'm not at the point where I'm thinking it's anything other than just like a winter coincidence. Like, snow's gonna melt and fall off the roof. That's gonna happen. So anyways, this is just another video of my experience out today, and I have honestly like maybe 3 to 4 minute walk before I get back to my place. So I'll just talk and I'll try and explain, if you happen to make it this far, some other stuff that I'm trying to work on for documenting. When I was dealing cards, so I have a long period of being off medication with schizophrenia. The longest, it's been since 2015, halfway through the year roughly. So it's almost been 10 years. And I would say, like, I've never taken my medication for longer than 8 or 9 months straight at one point. And there was an early period where I never took my medication for like more than a month, over, I don't know, 5 years. So I would take my medication for like 2 weeks while I was in the hospital. And then as soon as 2 weeks while I was in the hospital and 2 weeks while I got out of the hospital. But then, like, I was just so forgetful, like, that I just stopped taking the medication. I'll have to be honest, the medication didn't really affect me like other people say it affects them. I stopped taking it because I got bored living like a routine life. I liked the fact that I thought I was on a TV show and everyone could find me or watch me. So I played it up a bit, and like I tried to, like, I didn't go to people who I thought were like extras or cast and talk about it, but like if I thought someone was a big player in the scene, I would like unexpectedly interact with them to try and see like if they were gonna give up some information or something. And I can just remember like the last time, 2018 to 2019, I had basically had enough of the experience at the time. And I had gone to the hospital quite a bit, and I was just like fed up, like maybe I can't figure this out. And I decided I'm gonna go to work. I got a job in a new place dealing poker from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. And I said I'm gonna go the year, and I'm just gonna ignore everything. I'm not gonna like when I see something weird, I'm not gonna explain it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna assume that it's normal, or I might take notes as weird and just not follow it. And what happened was, I would say the first 6 months were like event free. I was really enjoying my job. I felt like I had finally found my dream job, and I was just really wanted to keep this going. And I would say after 6 months, I started to have time travel delusions, which is common for me. And which led to telepathy, which I had already experienced telepathy, but it brought telepathy back into the picture. Another like delusion that I have. And I decided to sorry, I'm changing my route as I talk and I can't think at the same time. So basically I decided to work at the casino dealing poker for 12 hours, 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. And I would go home and then like investigate the world on the internet for like sometimes I wouldn't sleep for 2 or 3 days, and being like I'm trying to remember, like it doesn't, you don't go from like you don't start at 150 miles per hour on the crazy spectrum right away. Like you gotta like start, and then it gets a little crazy, and then something that's really crazy will finally happen, and it'll confirm that the sky is green and not blue to you. Something that's that obvious, and then you just forget. See what I mean? Like, what's that about? That guy just honked at me. That's and this guy pulls out here too. Let's go down this way. It gets weird, and then like this. So like what I was saying before, like you're talking and then you think you're not supposed to talk about something. You're talking and then you think you're not supposed to talk about something, and then all of a sudden you hear some guy drive by with a unique horn. Like, what's he? I don't know. So like I see the girl standing in the driveway, and not the driveway, in front of the driveway, looking at the wall, and now I get a little bit further home and some guy just honks at me out of the blue. Yeah, I don't know. These are the things that happen to me. If I just walk around all day, I can just continuously record these strange happenings. And like I feel like if I just get enough of them, people will say, okay, like I see from your point of view why you think this. I don't need them to believe what I'm saying is true about like realities, changing realities, and all that kind of stuff. All I need them to say for me to be happy is, I will admit that you personally see some strange stuff often on a daily basis, and I guess like if I'm looking at a big goal of this channel, it would be for um, other people who don't want to take the medication or who do take the medication and say that it still doesn't work. If I can give them like tips to help navigate, because like I was saying before I had lost my track and went on a tangent, I want to figure out, shit, man, I'm having thought blocking right now, and like honestly it's really not that important. I can remember, I don't have to like the old me would have been like, the truck, the girl, the truck, the girl, the truck, the girl, and I would walk home for the next 5 minutes repeating the truck, the girl, until I could write down the fact that I saw a truck come by and honk at me at a weird time, and a girl that I saw standing taking a picture of a wall. I would just like repeat that shit over and over. And so like I'm glad that I can just go back and make a video of this, and I can just rewatch it. And I just yeah. So often when I'm in moments like where a couple things happen like they have over like 15 minutes, it could get strange for the next 35 minutes. Like what I learned from the Adjustment Bureau movie, which I feel is like very close to a documentary from my personal experience. I feel like there's a scene where they say like, be unexpected. We have trouble with that. And so like that's kind of like where me just walking up and talking to this girl about bird watching happened. And then you know, I made her laugh, which was nice. So like maybe she'll have a fond memory, and she knows like from her point of view why I came and looked at her, because I think she's smart enough to realize like it did look like she was standing there watching a wall. So I was just like confused, and she didn't get mad. She's just like, what? Is that why you came? So I gotta take a leak, and I think just since we had a couple weird things, I'm just gonna see if it gets going, because like I said, sometimes you can have 4 or 5 hours of just really weird shit back to back, and yeah, I don't know, probably not though. I don't know why I said probably not. That wasn't me speaking. That was like look at this guy. As soon as I drive, he starts to back up. That's why like as people with schizophrenia get paranoid and shit. They think people are out to get them. Cause like I say people it just seems like, oh, that guy tried to run me over. And like that shit does happen quite often, where I see people in random spots, and as soon as I get close, they drive away. Like we came up and we didn't see that guy get in this car. He was just sitting in his car in front of like a shitty store that somehow is open, but never anyone there. And then as soon as I get right behind the car, the guy wants to decide to move. It's like I don't get really mad at the person driving the car. I feel like it's like a bigger game of like two gods, or two I don't know, two supreme beings controlling us, like controlling with the thoughts that I have, and moves I make, and then like feuding with another god or something, and he's controlling his people. And I don't know, I think like eventually, like if a god is that trying that hard to have me silenced, I'm glad that I have someone looking after my back that's preventing shit like that. Like, it's hard to explain because I've had so many experiences where I was like, aliens are after me, I'm telepathic with time travelers, bikers are after me, African American gangs are after me. Like, I used to think like a lot of people were coming after me because I would live in major cities where all that shit was around, and then like I would just go out, and those are the people that would, for whatever reason, interact around me. Like, I happened to see like a lot of people like in those categories, and so like that's why I like where I am now, where I live. I'm in a small community in rural Canada, and then like I feel like the Adjustment Bureau can only send so many people after me. Like if they need me to be scared by a biker, it's like, see, like that's why like shit happens where the schizophrenic person's like, what? I shouldn't be talking about the biker. It's just like that shit happens constantly, like with the snowfall. But that was a bit more obvious, where I shouldn't be talking about bikers coming to get me. So, is it okay if I just use the washroom real quick? So, it's interesting. I gotta take a leak and try to make sure I don't capture anything. But I kind of have to, like, I like that I talked about that common thing where people with schizophrenia think like they can't talk about the subject because, you know, a truck beeps at them, or an ambulance drives right by and beeps at them. That's why, like, well, I mean, I did it too. I stopped talking right away. So I don't know. I'm just gonna walk around the block and walk home. I mean, so okay, so like, there's 3 cars in the parking lot, and like we're not anywhere close to anything. And there's like 15 people in that restaurant. It's just like an opposite example of what I mean. Like, it's like they're not. I started trying to give these people like suggestions. Like, I thought they could hear my thoughts. So I'd be like, listen. Like, when I thought that I was on the Truman Show, I'd be like, listen, you guys are fucking up. Like, there's 20 people in the restaurant and you have 3 cars parked outside. Like, some smart people are gonna figure out that that's not like the right way to do it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think about what I would say and what just happened, and I'm having a hard time. So sorry about that. What I'm trying to say is there would be a lot of like inconsistencies with like the reality, where like there's way too many cars for I'm just repeating myself. Schizophrenic people do that. We repeat ourselves because we're trying to make the same point over because it's so important. So we just keep repeating the same point until we get like validation, like, oh, that is important. So there's a shopping little center over there. I'm just gonna go over there and I'm gonna record, and then I'm gonna be done for the day. And this video will be a little bit longer than I expected, but I caught 3 things at least that were interesting, maybe 4, and maybe I would be surprised if I don't catch something else on the way, like probably someone sitting in the parking lot in a car, and like I'm aware that sometimes my dad will go into the store and I'll just sit in the car, so like I'm aware of that, but like sometimes it just seems a little strange, kind of like it just seems a little odd, and we'll see if we can catch anything, and then I'll close this video up for the day. And I just, now that I started recording some things, I'm getting like a second wind to keep going, so I don't see why I should stop. Let me talk about some other goals of the channel. See, I'm just remembering about the ambulance. I was talking about bikers, but I don't remember why I was talking about bikers. I was remembering like, oh, I like the small reality. Yeah, sometimes it does come back to you. So I just remember I like the small community I'm in, because like, for example, if I was in Toronto or something, that ambulance probably would have been a couple bikers. But because I'm in Kempville, the best I can do is send an ambulance around and like shoot off like their emergency horn for a second. And just, it's just weird timing that I was talking about negative thoughts with bikers. You know what I mean? So what I realized is, what I like about how I feel safe about doing my shit investigating in this community is there's only so many options. Like there's only so many options that the universe can send, or the Adjustment Bureau can send to interact with me. So you have to be more open to like saying, if I'm like, it was like a Corvette, and I'm thinking to myself, sometimes I can manifest with my thoughts, and I'll say I want to see a Corvette, a nice sports car, like that. I'll go out, and maybe I'll see like an old Camaro. It's almost like the Adjustment Bureau or the universe is like, listen, there's no one that's ready to drive a Corvette that we can send by him at this moment, like if he was in the big city. But this guy's about to get into his Camaro. Why don't we have that roll by him? And then I think like sometimes they get thought broadcasting, where I think we can all admit that we've gone to a store and bought something that we couldn't think of before we went into the store. Or maybe you go to the shopping complex and you're like, oh fuck, that reminds me I need weed too. So then you go into the cannabis shop, and it's almost like the Adjustment Bureau plants those thoughts so that you can have a meet up with someone crazy like me at a cannabis shop. That's how I kind of feel like it happens. So when I start to have a couple weird experiences, I sometimes just decide to check out the experience a little bit more, and like my plan is just to, this is like the most dangerous fucking stop I've ever seen. There's almost no walkers in this community, so no one ever fucking has the muscle memory to wait for people. They just come out fucking turning left into the fucking, like, this guy in the way, he'll probably hit me, I bet, if I'm not paying attention, because he's not used to fucking people coming out and walking right here. So he probably drives out of here so often that, like everyone else, that they never have to stop. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before someone probably gets fucking flipped out here. It's like they'll get right to this point, and then they'll fucking come at you, and then you have to be like, what the fuck? Anyways, back to the point. So this actually, from what I'm looking at, this parking lot looks really packed. And I know that some of these stores have no people in them. Look at this guy. Oh, he's fucking paying attention. Normally they come wired into that corner. I actually don't like walking up in this area because, like I said, sometimes I'm just going to be lost in my own mind. And, you know, I hate to admit it, but like, I have walked into traffic before. I've just been lucky where I'm like, holy fuck. So that is a concern. So I try not to come up here unless I'm vigilant in my awareness. So, and there's really no reason for me to go here except for to get my meds, which, we know I'm not taking right now. Okay, let's look at this parking lot. There's 5, 10, 30, 35, 40. There's about 45 cars in the parking lot. And I know for a fact that a lot of these people who work here park in the back and walk into the back of the store, like the restaurant. Because I did work at that restaurant for a short period of time. And I used to have to go in the back door, and I noticed a lot of people use the back door and park back there. So let's count how many people are in Shoppers. So we said 45 cars, so there should be about 45 people. I'm just guesstimating, I'm not. We'll count the people, even though I know they park in the back, we'll count the people. So we got 3 people there. Two, 5, 9. We got 9 people. 10. Four workers. So 10, 15. Okay, so we got like 15, which is really, like, probably, in my opinion, probably the most people in here. In all the stores are gonna be 15. So we need 30 people in the next few stores.
I never ever think to bring them in.
And it just makes me wonder, like, sometimes, like, when I do it and I realize, like, some of these people came together. So the restaurant, like, we had 15 in the Shoppers, so we need like 30 people in the restaurant, which I don't think is gonna happen. This store doesn't even look like it's open. This store doesn't look like it's open. It's Sunday. Okay, there's 1 or 2 workers in there, so 17 people. That's not even open. This is not open. Alright, we've got some people talking. Sometimes I think they plant ideas in your head too. Like, they make me, like, they like, I think they understand, like, how placebo pills work, like sugar pills. Like, if you convince a bunch of people that they're in a group of people testing different medications for cancer, sometimes the people with the placebo pill would be cured cancer, and they realize that, like, sometimes the brain, the way that you can think about a situation, can cause you to, in my opinion, change to a different reality. If you actually believe that you're getting healthy, I think, like, you can actually, like, attract a healthier timeline. So I use my that kind of theory and how I think about stuff to think about how to travel. I use my words carefully. So anyways, there's people, I didn't want to talk right behind them. So we need like 30 people in this restaurant for it to be, and I kind of come in here so I don't want to just walk around like and walk out, do a loop. I'm just gonna pretend to use the washroom and look at the people. My best guess is there's 20 people, maybe 25. Yeah, so I think there's like 25 people plus. So there's like 10 cars unaccounted for in the parking lot if every single person. Sorry. If every single person decided to walk, correction, if every single person decided to drive, there'd still be enough of 10 to 15 cars in front of the parking lot that are unaccounted for. And I know for a fact that some people park in the back too, like the workers. But I counted them. So, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go back home now and end this video when I get back to my door. I caught a few things today, and I will be continuing off my meds to the point where I hope that it gets like what I call jackpot synchronicities, which are like I said a few days ago, I had 22 synchronicities and I labeled 2 of them as jackpots. They're just like so crazy that they defy logic. And when you add them up with the other ones, it becomes clear. Like I think there was a version that I was potentially, like I'm consistently going through timelines with every decision I make. Not every decision, not about like in the Justin Bureau they say you have free will over which toothpaste to choose, but not about like if you're going to be president or not. So I realized like when there's a big event like a Super Bowl, we can only go back and think about this timeline where the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Chiefs. But I think I was potentially going through another timeline, spending time in both timelines, kind of deciding on like being fought after or deciding or something along the lines, deciding like out of my hands, but I'm kind of like a passenger along for the ride to decide, am I going to be in a timeline where the Chiefs win a 3-peat? And so like I do believe there's multiple timelines that we can access, and like big events like elections and like Super Bowls and Stanley Cups and stuff like that. Those are the times where I notice it gets a little weird, the most weird. And I'm just saying that it becomes easier to see these reality switches where like they're like, we don't fucking care, in my opinion. They're like, we don't fucking care. They'll forget in a week anyways. Just fucking do it. We need him to be on a reality timeline where the Eagles win the Super Bowl for whatever reason. Like, I don't know why, but like if there's situations that benefit them to have me on that timeline, I think like when I have a day that's so fucking weird, it's almost like they're pushing me through to this timeline for their benefit or my demise. Sometimes it feels like, but sometimes it feels like it's for my benefit too. Like, it almost seems like they're just, it's too important that they just, they don't fucking care if a few people know something that they shouldn't, if it means that me being on a certain timeline happens. And it's almost like they know that I know maybe sometimes when shit's happening, but I just, like I said, I used to just allow it, and I used to play along hoping that they'd be like, you're a good fucking character, maybe we'll let you in on some secrets. That was my theory. I was like, if I just say like, take me off the Truman Show, I don't want to be here, you fuckers are after me. Like, I think like, of course, the voices in my head will, I say voices, but like plural, but there's just one. The voice in my head will be like, they will get negative. And so that's why I try to keep it light and humorous. And like I said, I hear funny shit and I hear interesting shit. And every now and again I'll hear some negative shit, but I used to never get that negative shit. And I think it was because I used to like follow along and just go with the flow. And it was just like when I was saying about word salad, I would like Google word salad, and I would get information that brought me to like telepathy or like narcissists. And so I would think like I was like a telepathy narcissist and that's how they fought. But if other people who are unlucky Google word salad, they would get schizophrenia and like catatonic fucking crazy people. And so like if I had Googled that shit, got Googled word salad and gotten that stuff, I feel like it would have affected me differently. But like it took me a long time for me to accept that whatever people label schizophrenia as, I think that is definitely something I experienced, but I'm also investigating it because I feel like it might be like a level in a game to pass, and like probably not the easiest level to pass, but definitely being off medication for 7 years and then back on for a year and then off again. I took a break. I went 7 years without medication, and the longest I made it without having a problem was about 2.5 years. And like I learned a lot over those 2 years. Like I was trying to explain before, I started dealing at 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. and I would go home crazy as fuck near the end of my time there, because I would like I wasn't talking to anyone outside of work, and I wasn't really talking to anyone at work except for my friends, but I only talked to sports and sports gambling and a little bit of poker. And then I was trying to hide the fact that I wasn't taking meds, and like I said, everything just around 6 month mark, something happened, and it started to get a little bit more weird. I would say the first month, I was doing pretty good at just being like, the old me would have done this, the old me would have done that. and then I would just ignore it and go back to work. And it was just like the next 3 months, from 6 month mark to the ninth month mark. By the time I got to the 9th month mark, it was really weird. The more I ignored, the bolder it got. Like, I remember going into work and we had like 25 dealers, and it was again like right around like an election period or something. Or there was a big like event happening that could have been like these people work here and these people don't work here anymore after this, Donald Trump's president. If you don't work in a reality at Deerfoot where Donald Trump is president ever. So like naturally something would happen where you would find a better job or you would get fired somehow, in my opinion. But like one day it was so like I was so like out there that I was like in like really weird reality, and it just became really weird when I showed up the next day, and like they had 15 new dealers. So like they had like 22, 27 dealers maybe max that come in casually too. And yeah, I showed up and like half the dealers had been fired or let go or something. And they already had 15 new dealers like trained, uniform, shirts, everything ready to go that day. So I just remember going, looking at that and going, how the fuck is that even possible? But like never mentioned a thing. So like the fact that I knew that was going on and I wasn't talking about it, I felt like I was gaining access to like how this situation ran, and I felt like I was being included in a way, like they knew. Like I felt like other people were like, oh, this guy's been here before. He didn't even get freaked out when we had 15 new dealers come in. Like this guy's seen some shit. Let's push it a little more. And then I started dealing from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. But like when I was dealing at like 6 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning, there was always like a new table of people, almost never the same people. So like I could act a little strange if I wanted to, and like no one would say anything really or whatever, and then they just wouldn't see me again. Like if I was dealing at noon every day and the same people were in every day, I think like I would have got caught sooner. But because I could get away with being a little eccentric sometimes at late in the morning, other people could just chalk it up like it's late. I was like, sometimes I'd just be like, it's late, sorry. It's late for me too, stuff like that. And I made it like maybe I made it a year, but I would say like around the 9-month mark, I was surrounded by people that I had never experienced their characters before, and it was like maybe there'd be like 7 to 9 people at the table, and like 4 to 5 of them would be narcissists, and with different levels of arguing power and confrontation, and like I'd try to keep the game going, and I'd be like, listen boys, calm down. And I wouldn't understand like their arguments, it wouldn't make sense, and I'd be like, I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna have to call the foreman over and like figure this out. Because I was like, where the fuck are these people coming from? So like lo and behold, I started researching like the characteristics that I described that I was witnessing, and like now I know what a narcissist is. I never knew what a narcissist was. And so I decided to study them because they were fascinating, and I was dealing with them, and so I figured out how they argued, and then after a few days I started practicing like diffusing the situation, and it became like a test. Like some of them like became friendly with me and became my friends, and some of them just like didn't talk to me. But like I was basically kind of diffuse situations before they erupted, and like some guy would say something to some other guy, and I'd like the guy, and I'd be like, "Oh, you should say this," and it was like the exact thing you should say to like prevent that guy from like, being able to like control you or whatever. I just got good at doing that, and like then I'd go back to dealing, and no one ever said anything, but like some people started to like give me respect and stuff, and then it felt like there was always a new narcissistic situation I had to try and diffuse. It was almost like I was learning my lessons. Like that's what it felt like. And then, but it also felt like they were trying to get me to leave their reality. Like they realized like we fucking changed that whole fucking group of people, 15 dealers, in one day. He didn't say anything, but we know that he was fucking freaked out. He shouldn't be fucking seeing that. It was almost like they knew they were having conversations like that, and they're like, we need him out of this fucking reality. We can't just fire him, but we can like fuck with his reality until he gets fired, slips up and gets fired, and then eventually he'll be gone. So from the ninth month mark to the 12th month, I would say that I was just like every day was a battle. I was being telepathic at this time, having conversations with the people at the table, and then I would go to the bar, and I was being telepathic at the bar, talking to people at the bar, and so I was really in my mind and figuring like that could happen. Like I went from, that was the crazy thing, was I went from not believing at all, but then like something happened so crazy, like the dealer switch, and you're just like yeah, okay, like okay, this is obviously not fucking real life anymore. And then you feel a sense that you can come out of your shell a bit, and then so for 3 months I came out of my shell, and then I just remember I was like, felt like I was high on the drug, but I hadn't taken anything. But I was just like, I had like a constant line to the fucking spirit world in my head, and listening to those conversations. And I was just like, I was just like, it was almost like, I feel like I was on like MDMA or something like that. Like, and I was just like, my body just felt like a happy buzz. But it was like a little concerning too, because it felt good, but I knew that like I hadn't taken any drugs. So like, why is my body buzzing with this like euphoric feeling? And I remember it lasted for like a few days, and then I went into work after being really weird at the Calgary Stampede, and I just remember I just got up. Some guy came to relieve me, and like I just didn't finish the hand. I right in the middle of the hand, I just like got up and like left the table, and everyone was like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, he came to relieve me. And then it was almost like they finally pushed me to the point where I lost focus of what my actual job was. And then when I fucked up at my job, they just asked me a question like, were you drinking? And I wasn't drinking, but I didn't know what to say. So I just went, yes. Simple, like, okay, yeah, you're giving me an out. Like I thought he was giving me an out so I could just say, yeah, I was drinking, sorry, it won't happen again. And then, but like, that was enough to get me fired. Admitting to drinking on the job was like, or being drunk at work was like a fireable offense, even though I had like a spectacular track record up until that moment, because they were still trying to promote me to cage as I was going batshit crazy. So for the longest time I was being able to hold it up at work, and I thought, you know, one screw up, slap on the wrist, and I'll be back. And like that, I could like buy me time. But yeah, but I know I was crazy too, because I did like an exit interview like right away. And like then I left the building, and apparently I was like walking around the hotel doing shit in the parking lot. And the dude that was my friend that I knew, that was the boss, he's like, yeah, I thought you had something like schizophrenia. I should have said something. But like that's the thing, people don't fucking, that's the worst thing for people like me when we're having these experiences. People rarely, like that lady today, she's like, did you follow me because I was staring at the wall? And I was like, yeah, sorry. A lot of people, I didn't even clue in that I could like make her feel that way. And a lot of people would just keep that to themselves. So like, I just realized like there's people out there saying, you know what, honey? I went home today or I went to work today, and this crazy guy came in and he did this and that and this. And I just realized like, if that's going on, then she's co-creating a reality where I have to prove to people that I'm not crazy. If you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like all my interactions with people create other interactions for the future. So if I want someone to come home and go, I met a nice guy today. He was awesome. I wish him the best of luck. I want to have those realities come to me and experience them. And I do have some. And I want to avoid having realities where the girl's like, yeah, I hope this guy gets some medical help because he came in and he did this and that. So like, that's for me, that's how I believe my mind works. I believe my subconscious mind creates my reality and my conscious mind navigates it. And yeah, so I'm just trying to put my thoughts and capture my experiences. So this video is a little bit longer than I expected, but I was hoping that it's a nice dog. Beautiful. Yeah. So I just remember thinking, if I'm gonna have people create realities for me, I'm gonna try and give them realities. It's kind of like fake it till you make it. So like, I used to say these things like, I do this for a living, and I would make it believable. And then lo and behold, eventually, like maybe 6 months later, I'd be living in that situation that I created. So I just felt like I was good at manifesting small dreams that aren't picky. Like if I want to run a cookie factory, like the work and the amount of mental power it would take for me to pull that off would be not worth it for me. But like, if your goal is to be like kind of lazy and get away with it, that was kind of how I felt. I wanted to just wake up every day, and if I wanted to play poker, and then if I didn't want to play poker, I could just like be lazy around the house, and always have something to eat, and always have a bed, and that's kind of like what my goal is. And so I kind of like was able to manifest that, and now that I have that, it's like I don't really want it anymore. It's almost like, okay, on to the next thing. It's like, let me try something a bit bigger and better, because I know that I can always fall back on this and be happy. So that's why I want to try and have undocumented schizophrenia on this channel. And I'll end it there. And then tomorrow I'll pick up.